leave here, you'll never want to be a YouTuber ever again. Maybe you will. I don't know. My name is Stephen Hayward. I am the Tech Plus Gaming. I also co-host a podcast with that lovely lady up there. We call ourselves the Game Master. I'm going to have a woman starting with the man, the myth, and the legend. Go ahead. Tell everybody who you are.
I'm Dr. Scott, and my channel is The Game Closet. It is comedy gaming at its best, or its worst, its cheesiest. And I do reviews, things like that, top 10 lists, what have you, but with a definite cheesy thing.
I'm Mike, known as Lizzie Dojo on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. I do kind of the same thing he does. Not a graphic designer though. I do a lot of lives like Fortnite, Bioshock, 90s games, some 2000 games, and then a review of miscellaneous new stuff. Indie games.
I did. Okay. At first I was nobody, but I am Gamer Aimer. I'm not funny on my channel at all, and I don't do anything that they do. I'm just kind of all over the place. I have a pretty cool collection, so I'm always finding stuff to add to the collection. I do like to go to different conventions, and like I said, I'm kind of like all over the place. And I'm glad that I have a voice, so thank you guys for listening.
My name is Minz from Nintendo Land. I'm a content creator, streamer, I'm a mom, artist. Oh, what else do I do? All sorts of really fun stuff. I have a collection of Mario stuff, just like she does. We have really cool collections.
Yeah.
And so I do make content, and I'm live probably about 5 or 6 nights out of the week, playing lots of different games, anything on Nintendo. And I love the chat, so make sure you stop in and hang out with me.
Yeah.
So one of the things we want to do is not just speak the action, guys. We want audience participation, which is going back here. So I made a mention to have you come up and ask a question or two. Oh, I think what we'll start out doing is name our number one pain as a content creator. I don't know who wants to start, but actually let's do the ladies first. Let's start with Minz on the end and work our way back. What is your number one pain when it comes to content creation?
Staring at my face. Actually, I think a part of it is editing. Editing is a really big. I can't call it a pain because it's kind of like it's the fruit of your labor, right? Like it's supposed to be difficult because it is how you make your content. It is how you create the content, how you get it to where you want it to be, what it looks like, and things like that. And it does take up a lot of your time. It does take up a lot of just time. Honestly, it's a lot of time. So that used to be for me.
I'd have to say, like, the tech part. We all know I struggle with some of that. We joke on the podcast, I'm like the retro, like, taking it back because I'm pixelated at times. But no, I mean, some of it is, like, the editing and, like, with the tech and stuff. Like, there's ways to make things a little bit easier, but I feel like I always find the more difficult stuff. So I would have to say that that's, like, my biggest challenge. But everything else I love, you know?
I'd have to say the hardest part of my stream is time management. Some of my streams are like an hour, 20 minutes. Some of them, if they get really going, it can be like 3 to 4 hours. Then you have to spend all that time to edit everything because you go way over your time limit.
Yep.
So I'd say time management is the biggest, my biggest challenge to conquer.
Even though editing is a difficult thing, I've kind of got it down to a science, and I had a lot of shortcuts in Final Cut Pro that actually helped me get a lot of that done. But for me, my biggest problem is me. And what I mean by that is sometimes I decide to be way too over-ambitious, and I'll be like, okay, now I have to make this work. There's nobody there to tell me. It's kind of, it's not, and I'm not comparing myself to Spielberg or anything like that, but there's no Spielberg to my Lucas to say, we got to scale this back. We have to stop at some point. You can't do this because somehow I always will find a way and I will make it work no matter what. Even though the result's fantastic, it's so time consuming. And just as an example, when I did my Knight Rider video last year, I didn't have a car. I didn't rent one of those Knight Rider vehicles. I used all green screen and all editing. And then there was also a lot of traveling to different cities to actually film in different locations in Detroit and Fremont, Ohio, and of course in Bowling Green, Ohio. So I'm my own worst enemy when it comes to my ambition and how to say no to myself.
I think it's funny because I was kind of curious about that because I would say the biggest issue is trying to be a perfectionist.
Yeah.
My wife will tell you, I'm probably, like you said, my own worst enemy, because I expect perfection even though I know I'm not going to achieve it. I do expect it. I've kind of rubbed off on my kids. My kids are here, and they've kind of, they do the same thing when you get into the production side of things. And I've gotten to the point where my daughter will critique. In fact, to the point where she won't even wear my merchandise. She wears another YouTuber's merchandise. Isn't that a slap in the face, right?
Well, he kind of needs the bump, though.
Well,
He needs the bump.
Well, we know, Game Dad's here, so if he's listening, Game Dad needs that extra push. But no, I think sometimes that can dispel creativity. Like it can really dampen. We touched on that a little bit at the beginning, but the creative part. Let's turn it over another way. What would you say is the most positive thing that you do as a creative? All right, guys, we'll let you go first this time. It's okay.
Because it's time
Can
to
I
think
go
about
first?
it.
Oh, go ahead. You go first.
Okay, so about a year and a half ago, I had a guy come in. He was a guy came into my channel. Was very depressed. Was about to end it all, and just be talking with him and conversating with him and just doing all that. I didn't know he was struggling at that time, and he came to me a couple days later and says, "You know what? I'm still here because of you. Your content. You talking to me. You make me a person, and not just like some of these other streamers who just don't care about anything." Because I made it personal for that guy. He is still here. He jumps on my streams all the time. We still talk about everything from daily life to what him and his kids got going on. So for me, my greatest achievement, and it'll probably be my greatest achievement ever, was the fact that I was able to connect with somebody that was in a bad place in their time of their life, and I was able to pull them out, be the light. So that's my biggest accomplishment.
That's fantastic. I can't imagine having some kind of that kind of effect on someone's life where they actually decided to keep on living just because they connected with you through watching your videos. So that's fantastic. I've said this many times before. I try to get to all the comments that people comment. Every single comment, I try to get to every single one. And whether it might be a day or so, I will get to them. But it's always great when you hear positive comments. Be like, hey, thank you for the laugh, thank you for the chuckle. You made you kind of made my day. I was having a bad day, and I watched this, and now I'm subscribed. And I can't say that I'm the biggest comedian in the world. I mean, I'm no Jerry Seinfeld, but if I can lighten somebody's day and they give me a cool comment like that, then I know that I can't look out in the audience like when I do a stage play and hear the laughter. But when I can read a comment, then that's the most positive thing. When I can hear somebody saying, "Hey, thanks, I really appreciate what you did. That was funny. Hey, I bought a great game, and or yeah, this game stinks. I'm glad I still stayed away from it." So one way or the other, it's always the comments and it's always the audience that I like to interact with.
No, I mean, I agree with that as well. Like, we all know that those negative comments, they really stand out among all of the positive ones. And it's like, you kind of have to like shift gears and be like, no, those people, they're just trying to get to you. They're trying to get a rise out of you. But it's really the ones that I remember the most are going to be those connection ones, where people are like, I was struggling trying to connect with my son. Your videos brought us together. We connect with the retro and the modern gaming. I was in a bad place. You really helped me. It's like those comments are always going to be the ones that stand out a little bit more, even though some of those negative ones, they really do hit you, right where it hurts.
And some people probably reach out to you, don't they? And they'll actually say, "Hey, thanks for this video," that kind of a thing. There are those negative ones, but you can always delete them.
No, I don't delete any. I leave them there because it's all part of this whole story. It's a part of the struggles to the rise. It's like, I know some of them are just out there for the rise out of people, but it's like, I still want to keep that stuff there because that kind of like shaped how I am and how I've, moved through this. But it's those connections that I've made, and like some people now I'm really good friends with. We have like private conversations, and we're just helping each other get through life, and it's just a really good time.
Well, they took my answer, you guys. that was my answer too. Hey.
Just say ditto.
Okay.
What they said.
Honestly, you guys, it is about our fans. It is about the people that we connect with. One of the things that I absolutely love is that I can inspire people, and I inspire others to do the same thing that I'm doing. It is one of the coolest things that I've heard was like, hey, I am terrified to speak in public. I'm terrified. I went live for the first time, and it was because of you. It's like, oh my God. I don't make a whole lot of money streaming, and I don't care if I do, but to the fact that I get to do things like that, I get to inspire people, and I get to continue to have fans, that is payment alone for me, and that is my absolute best part to the gift. So, yes, love it.
Not that I'm copying you, but I'm going to keep
Oh, ditto. Take that.
No, but seriously, the inspiration part
What
is
they
awesome.
said.
And because I want people to look, because we're not perfect, none of us are perfect, and we still here, and we don't even take ourselves serious. Like, you know, people come and watch us, and we think that's great.
I especially don't take myself seriously.
I really don't take him seriously.
No one does.
But seriously, a lot of people deal with things that they can't control. Maybe they have a speech impediment. Maybe they have, you know, some kind of discomfort. You know, like you said, speaking in public. I'm a prime example of someone that had to deal with something for years and years and years, and be on camera. And it was something that I had to do. Being completely transparent with everybody. I dealt with an issue called rhinophyma, where I had a large growth on the end of my nose, to the point where I reached out to Dr. Lee, and I actually was flown out. I was on. There's an episode of that where I actually had that removed, and I used to have to. I think, like Brandi said, I had to deal with people constantly going after me, but I let it go, and it was. Let me tell you, it was hard.
Yep.
So I want anybody that's sitting here to know, if I can do it, you can do it. Okay? So anybody here will tell you, I'm sure we could go down the line and everybody can sit here and tell you something that they went through. But I think the inspiration, I think that's key. I think that's the driving motion here for everybody here. It's inspiration. If, listen, one person's watching or 10 people, we're going to keep doing it because we love creating content. It's something that we enjoy doing.
Absolutely.
What do you do when those trolls come? Because you're gonna face trolls. You're gonna face those people that would only say something to you behind a keyboard and a mouse and a computer screen. How do you deal with that, ladies?
Humor. I deal with everything in life with humor. Everything that's bad or even good. I love humor, so I just will joke back with them. It's like, you know what? I probably did say something stupid. Thank you for noticing, right? Just something that, you know, and sometimes it might be bad enough that I don't react to it either, because some people are looking for a reaction. They want to see you go, what do you mean? People want to see a video. They want some kind of a drama that comes with it, right? So if I can't get it with the humor, if I can't get it with my kindness and humor, then I just leave it alone. Yep, that's it.
So from the time that I started creating content in 2018, I have screenshotted every single negative comment
Yeah, she's.
that I've ever received, and I have like a whole separate folder because one day, whenever I make it, I'm gonna make a video on that and
I've
be
seen
like,
some of the
started from the
screenshots.
bottom down here.
It's awesome. You do a great job with that.
I don't know why that just kind of stuff, but it's something that I do, and you know, I see a lot of repetitive, like a lot of the same comments. You know, they make fun of my weight, they make fun of things. It's always quick to go for those things of your appearance, you know, and they think that stuff's going to get to you, so they want that rise. They want you to comment back. But I just tell people, thank you, I appreciate that. You know, you just have to be super nice because they want you to be like, oh no, I'm so sad, or like, you know, they want you to do that. So you can't let it stick with you, and you have to really just let it roll off your shoulders and know that you can be better. And everyone's going through something in life, and I just don't want to be that person that pushes them over the edge because I don't know what they're going through. And, you know, that's what I do, and I just leave it alone.
Okay, so I do have one guy. So his name is Drex. This guy named Drex. No matter what I did, no matter what video I did, no matter whether it was live, a short, or not, he would always comment, I could do it better. I could do it better. You suck. You suck. I'm like, okay. So the one day, I finally find that he has a channel, but he doesn't really do much with that channel. So I get on there and I'm like, he's like, I could do it better. He's like, well, then do it. So then I spent the whole day figuring out how to do that one thing better. And then I tagged him in it. He saw it, he's like, touche. He says, if you can do it better, my stuff better than me, and I can do your stuff better than I said, let's do it. So then he's like, well, where do you get your inspiration from? He says, for myself. I do stuff that I want to see. So then eventually, a month later, he tags me out of the blue, and it's this awesome video that he spent like 6 months doing. Like, he spent a lot of time. And instead of saying, I could do it better, I says, that rocks. And after that, he became no troll. He's on all my videos. He's talking to me. He's chatting with me, asking how my day is going, asking how my kids are. I turned a troll into a friend. And like I said, normally speaking, trolls only want to try to bring you down or pull attention away from what you're trying to do. You have to learn how to control your audience and how you reply. Because if you reply wrong, more trolls will come. If you reply correctly, you actually get rid of trolls throughout the time.
And you don't want to make them mad because they will come after you and they'll bring all their troll friends, and then you get trolls for like ever and ever and ever. You know, I've seen it happen. It doesn't happen to me often, but I've seen it happen.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's always a saying out there in like everyday life. One bad review goes farther than 1,000 good reviews.
Yes.
Bad word travels fast. So the moment you start engaging and start hashing back and forth, you bring yourself down to their level. And then it just becomes really bad really fast. So it's best to try to take your trolls on that time and try to like relate to them, because maybe they're just having a bad day, or maybe they tried to do what you were doing and you did it better, and they self-analyze themselves saying, oh, well, I'm just not that good. And then you just have to be the light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully not the train.
And before Dr. Scott says his, we want to tell you guys, we're going to give away a controller from Retro Fighters. They were kind enough to sponsor this panel and a bunch of different things. So I think you have a trivia question that we're going to get to at some point. So if you win, you're going to want to come back to where the main stage is, where the broadcast booth is, and you can pick up your controller. So we don't have it here. It's actually at the booth. Just trying to make it easier. So I'm sorry. Go ahead. So what's the question again? Don't align yourself.
He's trolling you.
I'm kidding.
There have been some very malicious comments that I've deleted, and I just choose not to deal with them because I can't say that I'm the most positive, Mary Poppins kind of a person in the world, because I'm not.
Richard.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that, you know, my entire bedroom was rainbows and puppy dogs and stuff like that, but it's not. You know, but I choose to deal with it my own way. Sometimes I do talk with them, and I will say, and sometimes it'll be, hey, you know, this, you did this wrong, or and I'll be like, well, I may have accidentally done something. I'll explain things where they need to be explained.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do turn people into viewers, and that's great, especially when they're like, I had one guy who just he wasn't so much a troll, but he was kind of making fun during a live stream, and I don't live stream that much, and then eventually he just kept coming back and watching. It was almost like I had my own private guidebook in a way. No, go to the left. Oh, okay. But there are other times the way that I deal with it is I get their addresses and I hunt them down like dogs. No, Michael, no, I try to be nice to everybody.
It's a good point, though. It's a good
I really don't know him. I just found him back there.
Well, Steven, no, think about this, you guys, just really quickly. So when it comes to like making content and posting content, those are comments, right? When you're live, it's completely different, right? So this is live stuff that's happening. It's difficult to manage, and you do have to kind of be on your toes. And we do have our moderators that are there for us, and we do have other things that can block. We've got our other tools that we can use. So there is a big difference. You guys, like, always know what your resources are for when you're live, and then just when you have comments, blocking, things like that. There's more than just either ignoring it or responding to it. There are other options, so just make sure you guys think that's things.
And moderators are great.
My mods are everything. I need them. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple moderators, whether they know it or not.
We secretly are friends.
But if I do a live stream, or if I do a premiere, there are people there who can, act in my stead if I don't, if I don't get to it. So moderators are great.
Yeah, and even like other YouTubers and stuff, people that watch my channel, if I get a really negative, like rude comment, some of my friends will just kind of take care of it in the background, and I had no idea that they removed that comment, until like after the fact.
One of the things, if you watch her videos, her channel's Gamer Aimer, leave one word comments, but she loves it.
Oh
So,
boy! Oh boy! Nice. Great.
Now, what you're using. We want to tackle this last subject here before we get to Q&A. There's a misnomer in the content creator universe, right? That if I can be friends with one of these guys that is an aspiring content creator, my channel will grow. Everybody thinks that. True or false?
False.
Fine.
Go ahead.
People think that's why we all become friends.
You can clout chase all you want, but the thing is, just because somebody much bigger than yourself is on your channel in a video or something like that, doesn't mean that their viewers are going to cross-pollinate over you.
Yeah.
It also doesn't mean that those people are going to share your videos or anything like that either. So you kind of have to make it on your own. And if you do end up in a smaller community of creators roughly within your bullseye of size, those are the people who are actually going to help you out the most. It's not going to be the guy with 1 million subscribers or the guy with 100,000 subscribers that everybody knows or something like that. Some of those people do come out of the woodwork and they do help out. John Riggs, who unfortunately is not here because he got COVID. So sorry, John. We wish you were here. I consider John at least a casual friend. He's a wonderful person. He's a great guy. He's helped out with some videos and stuff before. And I've always said this. If I do a collab video, and if I have, at that time, let's just say I had like 1,000 subscribers, if he gets 2 or 3 people that have never heard of him from my channel, I've helped him out. If I get one rare occasion of his, he's helped me out. But it's never going to be, oh, I got 1,000 subscribers because John's in my video. That's just not going to happen. It's just not.
So to go based off of Dr. Scott, is you're never going to actually, all 4 of us up here have different channels, have different likes, have different hobbies. Some of us are collectors, some of us are hardcore gamers in Nintendo, some of us make Indiana Jones, some of us have tech buzz. But everybody has their own thing, and so you just have to figure out what works for you. But like, I do a couple collabs here and there every once in a while with some of my other friends, and they don't expect much because their content's different. If we had the same content, I think most people wouldn't probably tune into a lot of us. So you have to be unique, you have to be creative, and nobody thinks alike. So I don't feel like cross-pollination actually happens as much as people think it would. So, I mean, if you're going to start a YouTube channel and you're going to start at the bottom, find people like you that have content maybe similar to you and, ask for advice because maybe you have advice that they don't see. You always have different perspectives. So, but don't ever expect to just get on somebody's YouTube channel and magically gain thousands of followers. It's probably not going to happen.
A good point that you're making there, because look at Metal Jesus. Metal Jesus has almost 1 million subscribers. He has not made it yet. He's been at that pinnacle tipping point for a couple 3 years. And John Riggs, he's part of that crew loosely, I guess. And so is the immortal John Hancock. But those guys are still in the 120,000 to 200,000. They're not hitting 1 million. They're not getting all the subscribers that Metal Jesus had because these guys are blazing their own path. Well, did they get a few cross-pollinated? Sure. But they didn't get 500,000 of them. So.
Yeah, and I mean, I see that a lot too because I go out to all these different conventions. And I've been in Metal Jesus' videos, and I've been in other creators' videos, and it doesn't work that way. You're not going to just magically appeal and pull everyone's stuff. I'd rather build like an honest community where it's like we're all just having a good time. And honestly, I wouldn't want all those people. I want the people that are going to watch me who watch me, and they enjoy my content. They kind of relate to me. I don't want people like feeling sorry or like whatever, just like throwing at me. I'd rather build it my own way, do this, figure it out. I like the failures. I like this whole, like when you figure out what's working with these paths, I don't want to just be handed something. I'd rather, work, and then earn it,
Ditto. Can you see?
That's a Pokemon, by the way.
I completely agree. Are we not friends? Wait a minute. Are you trying to say something?
No, I had nothing. This is a good example. No, that's good. I personally have just met her a couple months ago.
Yeah.
We started messaging on Instagram.
Yeah.
Because I talked with content, and I was just like, we had some heart stuff because there's been a lot of
Stuff and things.
But it was nice to see she was up in the same mentality. That to me means more than anything, because you guys could sit here and I can say, hey, subscribe to her channel, and you're gonna, yeah, right, or vice versa. She can sit there and go, you need to subscribe to his channel, and you're gonna be like, no way, he's boring. So
Only a little.
But I think surrounding yourself with like-minded people, and not to say that there's clicks, but I think there's different creators that just kind of get along with each other better than some other ones, right?
Yeah, no, I do agree. I do agree. And I have met, so this year I just started doing conventions, and I had the best time doing this, and got to meet so many different, we got to meet at a convention, and getting to meet you guys here too, and you get to meet all these different people, and you find your people, right? You find the ones that are definitely going to mesh well with you and have the same ideas as you, and I got to meet John earlier this year, and he gave me all this different advice. He actually told me to hang out with you, and then we did. Which is really cool, right? So, I mean, it is awesome that we get to meet, get to hang out, things like that. And also going back to us have different fans, it is absolutely true, right? We are all different, and I love the fan group that I have. I love my Team Nintendo. I have to say over the Team Nintendo. Because they have been with me from the beginning, or they maybe did become part of my journey, right? So my journey from just posting content about my collection and then becoming streaming and things like that, right? Just kind of be there. So people are there for what I do, and I have done lots of collabs, and it does, but it isn't what makes another person famous, in a sense. It's probably more fun for us to do the collabs and to like hang out with each other than it probably is for other people. Yeah. It's probably more fun for us. But yeah, I mean,
That's what we look forward to coming to the shows.
So we hang out with our friends.
But like you're saying, hard work. You can't be afraid of hard work. If you want to be a creator, it doesn't matter what space, you got to put in the time. You got to put in the effort. In fact, Brandi and I are going to give you that tomorrow. We're going to be on the main stage doing a podcast live with Game Masters. People think that, YouTubers, they show up at a convention like this, with limos and sunglasses. And,
I know.
but we're not going to spoil it for you. You definitely want to come out to that. Because
My limos are bad.
I got the sunglasses.
Yeah, I did.
I got to come out to these conventions.
It's gonna bring my name.
So what I want to do is open it for any questions. Maybe we didn't hit something, or maybe you guys, what do they call this, an intro or content creation board? If you guys have any questions, if you want to throw fruits and vegetables, I highly recommend onions, and you throw it at Scott, because that's what he requests. But outside of that, if you don't think we're doing trivia questions, I think we got to wrap this up at like 1 minute or 2 minutes tops. Any questions? It's okay if you don't know. You got a question, sir?
Yes.
I don't know how far can we make it.
That was fine. What?
What do we like?
What was it?
Tree. That's the question. Go ahead. What kind of content do you create?
Okay.
Content. So my content is a lot of times just based upon me and what I do. So I have a collection of about 6,000 items of Mario, and I'd love to show the cool stuff that I've gotten. I also go live, and so I like to make content, or I like to edit my live sessions to edit out the dumb things that I say, so you guys get the fun parts. Or when I actually pass, like I'm currently playing Mario Galaxy, you guys, and I actually keep getting a couple of stars instead of like the many times I've fallen into the abyss. So yeah, it's about me and what I do. So yeah.
I feel like I'm like all over the place, so I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all those socials. And I have a pretty crazy game room. A lot of you guys have been there and actually seen it. And I find video game kiosks, standees, prototypes.
She hides them in the bathroom.
Yeah, rare items. I store stuff in one of the bathrooms. It's
In the tub.
and the laundry room, and
She's got a
it's
problem.
kind of taking over the house. I feel like this is another intervention.
Intervention happens.
And,
And the intervention side.
And like I love it, and I find this stuff, and I don't pay crazy amounts. Like I just get lucky, I guess, at the right time, and I put in that work to find the stuff. And then I'm going for like full sets, and I find statues, and just the craziest of the craziest. So I just like to educate people on some of these items that maybe people don't necessarily see every day.
Yeah.
And then I do enjoy like playing games when I do get a chance, and I'll do some reviews and different things like that.
So I do lives, but I have, I'm usually on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch all at the same time, so I do a multi-stream. So I do lives, like sometimes I do Fortnite, I do a lot of Bioshock, I do a lot of indie games, like we have a whole aisle back there full of indie game developers. So I usually try to do a lot of indie game developer reviews, walkthroughs, but it's all, improv. Like I do it live, so there's no editing usually in most of my stuff.
So the stuff that I do, think of a game reviewer mixed with Monty Python. Maybe a little bit. I mean, I've done everything from drive Michael Knight's car to and investigating fake games being distributed while I'm reviewing the Knight Rider game, to reviewing Lollipop Chainsaw, and then getting so obsessed with the cheerleader herself that I actually end up dressed up as the cheerleader after I poured cherry pie filling over my head in a video. I mean, I just do really crazy stuff like that. I have a video coming up here really soon. It's a series that I'm starting. It's called the Games They Make You Play in Hell. And the first one is the Atari 2600 Games They Make You Play in Hell. And I actually have a friend of mine who runs a channel called Mike's Gaming Gala, and he is actually playing the devil in that video and the following video. And I'm going to show you the absolute, well, maybe not the worst, but I've picked out 30 really bad Atari games, and I'm showcasing 9.5 of them. When I say a half, that half goes over to the next video. And Mike, dressed as the devil, is fantastic. And I go all out to try to just shred these things to pieces because they are so bad.
Yeah.
But occasionally there will be, other videos like, follow-ups like the Nintendo games that make you play in hell, etc., etc. But I do live stream on occasion. I do sometimes do singular reviews, and I will do a heavy skit section for that, or even like a miniature film. Like last year, if you remember, I did that the Hero, Atari 2600 Hero, and there's like a mini film before the actual review. And then the review is just goes straight down into the depths of stupidness right after that. If I don't make you laugh at least once or choke on popcorn while you're watching, I'm not doing my job.
Yeah.
Great question.
We choking on popcorn.
Yeah.
That's a really great question. I'm glad you asked that.
Yeah.
I do a lot of unboxings. I do my specialty is in live. I do a lot of live streaming, multi-camera, and each of these, because you've been over to the booth. But right now I'm going for the complete North American collection of DVDs. First ever attempt at collecting a full set. Some of us aren't as brave as Brandi and do 3 or 4 sets at one time, but I'm down with it. And so
Why not?
I'll talk about my journey, and a lot of times
You're not helping
my
anyone.
kids will be going around hunting.
Oops.
So we keep it.
Hey, they give me a hard time about my collecting, my bathroom.
We're gonna have to respect this time and wrap it up. Scott, do you have a question for somebody to win the controller here?
Okay, well, let's have a look here. How about this one?
Okay. It'll be hard.
Are we picking somebody? Or are we just taking hands after they see
We're
it?
gonna have you raise your hand
If you know the
if
answer.
you know the answer. Whatever, you guys gotta watch it.
Okay, so the question, in the game Mega Man 2, what is the name of the final boss, True Form, after his first phase? So it's the name of the final boss's true form after his first phase. Well, that one must be too hard. Sorry. Okay, let's pick this up.
And pass.
Way to go, Scott.
He had one job.
Yeah, one shot.
He was
One
one
job.
for this.
One job buddy.
All right, I got it. We'll do this one. In The Legend of Zelda, the original NES version, you walk into the cave to get your sword, and the guy says,
It's dangerous to go low. Take this.
"Yes."
Nice job.
See, that's what you gotta do. We're working on it, folks. We're working on it.
I do comedy.
I told you I should have done this.
All right, so after this, we're right behind main stage. You can pick out. I think we got like 8
It's,
or 9. 8.
yeah, it's like a Dreamcast or an Xbox.
We have a sheet knows.
It should be like a Dreamcast or an original Xbox, but they're the Retro Fighters controllers, and then they play on like the newer stuff as well. So there's 2 different ones. You can pick out whichever one.
We will also be doing some more panels over there. If you guys want to come over and pick our brains, or if you have other questions, we're willing to hang out here and answer them. And yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.